This is a jury-rigged episode of Hippie and the Caveman, episode 3, with Alicia Baruti.
Hello.
And yeah, so we're jury-rigged at our house. I've set up the laptop. I didn't update any of the stuff Macintosh told me to, so God willing, this gets on air. But anyway, it is October 24th. We're rolling up on Halloween. Mm-hmm. Allie and I are going to chat for a little bit, and then we're going to bring a special guest, Scott Seagren from Exid Entertainment. He is a filmmaker in our local city of Los Angeles. Allie and I have both worked with him in different capacities. That sounded a little pornographic. I'm sorry.
You do have to be careful. You know?
We've been actors in films that were not of the adult nature.
We're not of the adult nature.
There's an adult theme, but...
I mean, it depends what you consider adult, because you can't show zombie stuff to your kids.
That's true. Yeah. So on that note, segue on accident maybe. Scott is directed and produced and acted, starred, wrote. I don't know what he didn't do on a season 1 of Survival of the Dumbest. It is actually an awesome. It's yet to be done. It's kind of a Shaun of the Dead spinoff, but it's basically if. During the zombie apocalypse, if the dumb people survive, which we all know that's actually probably what will happen, it's the 3 dumbest people in the city survive, and obviously the mishaps and adventures. And they just got funding for season 2, and they started shooting. Really? Yeah, they started shooting last week, and I want to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Allie and I they started doing little mini-sodes while they were getting funding for the second season. Allie and I had a little. Just episode guest starring role
with a
little throwback to a Star Wars joke inside of it at the end. And but other than that, so Allie and I have been trying to correlate our schedules as always. Allie has a brood of like 16 or 16
it's just 3. Don't give me more.
3 humans, but a responsibility list unlike anything I've ever experienced, and I just have really nothing near as relative as children, but she keeps busy. So
you have a dog.
I have a dog.
That's
yes.
a life that you care for. It's not a human life.
Yeah, but like unlike a human, if I put a human door in the back door and just say, "Take care of yourself, poop in the backyard."
Yeah.
Social services gets all up in an uproar. I'm like, my baby's outside pooping in the backyard. I put a door there. I have a bowl full of food. It can easily access.
That's funny.
So I'm at Allie's house. I had to come over here in my pajamas because I just got this is self-deprecating, but this is one of the topics actually on the original concept of the show, A Day in the Life of. I'm currently spray tanned, and I smell of, I don't even know what that smell. It's just hideous. What do you liken it to?
Spray tan.
Spray tan is a spray tan smell.
It has a very distinct spray tan smell.
Yeah.
And I you said when you came over and, we had a quick hug there, like you said, I just got spray tanned and I couldn't smell it. But I know anytime I get spray tanned or I do the self tanner, I feel like it's all I can smell, but I can't smell it on you.
Really?
So I think it's probably,
my Jeff Musk overwhelms the spray tan musk.
No, I think it gets like lodged in your nasal passages.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, that could be true, the spray.
Yeah, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's random quick explanation for those of you wondering why I would possibly... Who's the guy? Mark Hamill? Not Mark Hamill. That's Luke Skywalker. Who's that famous old guy that has like the spray tan, silver hair?
Oh, I can't think of his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. He did it randomly or all day long for the rest of his life. I have... boo-hoo, poor me. I'm lucky enough to have been asked to be in a firefighter calendar. Cliche of cliches. 6.5 foot tall. But we don't mind.
I'm not mind. It's awesome. I just, I have to get a spray tan because I don't want cancer. So that's going on. The release is Saturday, and it all goes to breast cancer.
Breast research. I'm sure there'll be some of that going on too. I mean, firefighters do have quite the reputation.
That's awesome. Not me, but yes, there those are out there. But no, the event does not go to breast research.
Breast cancer research.
Couldn't have scripted that.
So here's a question.
Okay.
Was it the chicken and the egg first? Because, firefighters are players, typically, stereotypically.
But Allie will, I hope, vouch.
You are not a player. Yes, that is very true. You definitely
I didn't pay her to say that.
No, he didn't.
I don't have any money.
You can pay me later.
Yeah. I just have to mow her lawn.
No, but what I was going to say is that, firefighters are very stereotypical players. And women love firefighters. Yes, we do. So the question is, are firefighters players because women love firefighters and they realize, like, ooh, we can get whatever we want?
That's definitely chicken or egg.
Or are women, like, all about firefighters because firefighters are players and they, like, know how to make a woman scream?
You're going to have to ask... Yeah, that's your gender's answer.
I wonder... That's a really good
But I will
question.
attest that it is kryptonite. Just those. If you guys knew the amount of cancerous carbon that is on our gear, I would probably turn you guys off immediately. It's horrendous. So
I know it's the yellow pants.
So there's gonna be a lot of those yellow pants and no shirts Saturday.
Is that what you guys are wearing to the event? Is the yellow pants and no shirts?
They're wearing T-shirts. I was fortunate enough I'm the one that is not wearing a T-shirt.
So wait.
Thus the self-tan.
The yellow pants and the red suspenders and no T-shirt?
Yellow. Every guy's different, but we're on the yellow pants, suspenders, and a T-shirt. So ladies.
That's funny.
It's
awesome.
So
good for you.
Yeah,
I'll be on set.
It's Allie's making a movie instead of supporting breast research. Breast cancer.
And for the record, this movie is not a pornographic movie.
That's the last 3 episodes we've had to do that, is disclaim that the movie we're working on is not porn.
It's not porn.
No, it's for breast cancer research. So we are showing our tatas to support Tata research, to Tata cancer research. I'm going to say that Saturday, too. I'll be on stage with a microphone. I'm like, thank you for coming here and helping us support breast.
Support Tata.
Breast research. Cancer research, breast cancer.
What's funny...
I can do great with a script.
What's funny is that now that you've said that...
Yeah, I've incepted myself.
It's in your head. It totally is.
I've incepted myself.
You incepted yourself. That's funny.
The Leonardo DiCaprio kind of inception, not the kind of inception our parents had.
That's conception. That's conception. Oh...
Whatever.
Now, let me tell you, Jeff, when a man loves a woman, he starts to feel funny.
Yeah. Great. I feel like I'm 13 again. Like, stop talking to me, Grandpa.
Wait, did your grandpa give you the
No, my parents were very, this shows us writing itself today. My grandparents, not my grandparents, good Lord, because we talked about grandparents. They were very, what's that one book, like everybody poops?
Yes.
Obviously no correlation to sex, but it was that kind of book science. Their parents,
very technical.
Yeah, they're very awesome. They said, here's a book, read, questions, ask. You know, I could picture little Jeff Bosley being raised with sex education and a PowerPoint back in 1980 or so, when that would have, when's sex ed probably appropriate in the family? Do you have kids?
I think like between 5th and 7th grade. Like,
how old's that?
I think like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like
1988.
10 to 12.
If they had PowerPoint, I'm sure I would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
Some sort of PowerPoint presentation and a 10-page document with footnotes.
As a parent, it's kind of scary because you want to make sure that you have the conversation before they hear about it from their friends, but you don't want to freak them out too early.
Yeah. If you want to beat them to the punch, you're like...
Yeah, exactly.
You don't go to the nursery ward and say, all right, here's what's going down. Here's how you got here 20 minutes ago.
I actually never got the birds and the bees talk.
What?
I really didn't. Because I was the youngest of like 3 siblings.
You just figured it'd work itself out.
No, I think I just kind of like, my parents were like, they kind of figured that I had already kind of got some information, and it was just kind of like left at that.
That's awesome.
I know, right? I mean, I had though. I got... You know, you hear stuff on the playground and... Well,
yeah, and I mean, I'm no scientist, but Allie has 3 kids, so she knows how the birds and bees work. So
clearly, I figured it out.
3rd time's the charm. She's like, oh,
that's
what
why
happened.
It keeps happening.
Gosh, all right, no more.
My kids actually, this is like my brief kid tangent. Something came up about kids today, and I was like, well, I'm not going to have any more. And my kids were like, they're like, never say never. You never know. And like, cause you know, they don't really know yet. And so they don't know how it happens. And so they were like, you never know, Mom.
You can never know. It's highly possible.
Well, I know that, but that's a whole other topic.
Yes. No, enjoy. Yeah. Oh God, I can't even imagine this. On that note, if you have to go, we can go to our message from our sponsors of Night Terrors.
Yeah, I do. I have a sick baby, so.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we'll save it and go to a sponsor of Children's Tylenol. All right, so we're back. Alicia has drugged her children. No, she's a very good mother. She doesn't drug them. My first instinct would be to be the bottle of green juice, also known as NyQuil. So, but other than that, we'll the birds of the bees. That was our last horrendous topic because I was thinking about a PowerPoint. No, that sounds horrendous. But yeah, so Allie and I have a lot's happened since Halloween's coming up. Ladies first, what have you been up to in your world of film, etc.?
Oh, I mean, I've been working on, a couple films, which is always nice because, the summer was slow. And so I filmed, I was working on this project all last weekend called Soul Fixation. And I actually got to kill someone, which was really fun. I actually got to kill 2 people.
She has this deep-seated urge to kill.
This is the thing. I mean, obviously, your casting is a very specific type of casting, and
okay, I see that.
You get to you get to do that type of stuff. That's not normally the little 5'2" blonde.
It's not in your wheelhouse.
It's not normal for me. So it was actually pretty fun. I got to strangle someone. As I'm laughing about it.
I know.
I'm
kind of worried now.
And then I got to shoot someone. It was really, really fun. And so
now I see why I did it for a job. It's like
okay, well, that's different.
Not that kind of job.
Yeah, no. So it was. I mean, really fun. It's always fun to work on a project, and when you've been working on something and rehearsing, and everything kind of comes together, and the magic happens, and I don't know. I don't
want you to forget who is your special co-star in your not this but your other project.
What do you mean? Which other? Oh, that's right. No, I will. Will
awesome.
Get to that. Yeah,
okay, awesome.
I actually got to take my daughter on a shoot. So for a commercial shoot, which was awesome. It was her first time on set, and so it was really fun getting to have my daughter on set and her getting to see how it all works. And
no, on set as in she was in it with you,
yes,
not watching.
Yeah. Yes, she was in the commercial as well. And she got a lot of attention.
Sure.
There was only 2 kids on set, and there was an 11-year-old boy, and
yours was better.
And then an 8-year-old girl. So clearly, awkward 11-year-old boy, cute 8-year-old girl. And the director kept coming over and being like, hey, Brooklyn, are you doing okay? And bringing her snacks and stuff like that. So it was.
You need to attend.
Fun. I do.
It's fine. We'll go to a commercial. Actually, what I'll do is I'll call Scott.
Okay.
All right. All right, so Allie now just dosed her kid with another set of NyQuil because
I am not
he's apparently delirious because he's seeing things. So he's unconscious upstairs, and so if we have any more interruptions, that brings me to why I won't hit stop because we have a guest on the air. As I've never said that. It's the first time. So Scott, you're now my first. I've been able to say I have a guest on the air. Scott Seagren, L.A. filmmaker. Famous dude. Yes, no?
Totally.
So, yeah, Scott and I and Allie met making a movie. And so, Scott.
Yes.
Long walks on the beach. What's your story?
Totally. Long walks on the beach. Yeah, that's how I got started in movies, actually. I was walking on the beach, and I saw this guy, and he was like, filming stuff. I was like, what you doing, bro? And he was like, I'm making a movie. I was like, oh, cool. Can I be in it? And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Well, yeah, I mean, so many subtleties that go with that. If you hear a kid screaming in the back, it's Allie's kids are dying.
Oh, man, I'm so tired of screaming kids.
That's right, you're a teacher, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Day
Scott
job.
pays his bills educating young minds.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
What grade do you teach?
I teach, 1st through 5th grade. No, actually, now it's 1st through 6th grade.
Oh, my
God.
That is a whole other beast.
They let me teach children.
I completely forgot about that because what is it you have on your Google tagline? Like you can put your little catchphrase. There was some.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't either. Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is right now.
It's funny, but I saw that, or I think it said something like educating young minds, and I piddled a little
bit.
That's right. Knowing I will never have children now.
That's what it was, shaping young minds.
Yes, that was it.
Shaping young minds.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm influencing a generation of children to be zombie killers and general psychopaths.
Nice. Well, therein lies one of the reasons I know you and wanted to talk to you is, speaking of zombies, season 1 of Survival of the Dumbest, done in the can, aired, and has a bajillion hits, basically, right?
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. We got a web series, Survival of the Dumbest, and it's really ridiculous. It's 3 guys against all odds have survived the zombie apocalypse. The tagline is, the world is doomed by a zombie apocalypse, and these 3 idiots are our only hope. So
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it chronicles our story, basically.
That's what I was saying before we called you. Is I was telling Allie how I'd originally worked with you and or knew you and all that, and I was like, yeah, that's probably how the apocalypse will happen. It's not going to be the smart people or the people with the guns. It will be your 3 characters. They will survive the apocalypse.
And you, of course.
And that's half the fun. That's half the fun. Because we thought about, you've seen the show. It's ridiculous.
It is awesome ridiculous, though. It is.
We thought, what would, if the zombie apocalypse were to occur, let's say it happened.
Yes.
And let's say you survived long enough for, zombies to be kind of an everyday normal thing. How would you live your life after that? And that's kind of how this ended up coming about.
So you just got funding for season 2.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we actually just started shooting season 2 this past weekend.
And I'm noticing, well, the way, I don't want any spoilers, but I know the way the first season ended, and the way this one's going, how it begs the comparison, how, because you just said how is the world going to go when it's the norm, when the zombies are the norm, and that begs the comparison where I'm at on season 3 of Walking Dead. How but those are geniuses, those people, compared to your 3 characters.
Yes, indeed, they are geniuses. But see, if you notice watching season 1, while we are pretty dumb and we make stupid mistakes and stupid decisions, we're still generally, we're people, and my character is the smartest of the 3.
Yeah, you're the brains of the group, for sure.
Kind of start making more logical choices a little bit. Season 2 we still have our stupid mistakes and decisions we make without giving anything away.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say, without really giving anything away, in the first episode of season 2, we find ourselves in a problem because we're on the road, and we are low on supplies like food and water, and that's a problem. No. And it's an even worse problem when you have Xander, who just is completely oblivious to what we do and do not have.
Can you mention the person in the group, the new addition from season 1 that trickled into season 2, who I believe is with you right now, that helps, you would think, as far as stereotypes concerned, help rein you 3 males in to find some logic in the chaos, or is that Is that a spoiler?
At the end of season 1, we get a new cast member, Miss Danny Gray as Cassidy Kane.
That's right, of the Lady Persuasion.
She is a lady, and she is a badass, and she busts on the scene saving our asses, and we're like, what?
Exactly.
Crazy. We didn't know there's anybody left. And now here's this chick, and she's kicking ass and taking names and pulling our ass out of the muck. And then she's going to leave us, and we try to convince her to stay, and she stays with us. She stays with us through the end of season 1. And then there are more adventures we have.
You said you tried to convince her to stay, or you tried to convince her to leave? I missed that for a second.
Oh, we tried to convince her to stay at the end of season 1.
Okay, I was going to...
Because she realizes with you is probably the anti-survival decision to be made.
She knows it's probably not the best choice of things to do, but she does it anyway, because we're fairly likable despite being stupid.
So with season 2, do you see... do you kind of... Because I know when I was in your guys' studio, you guys have, to kiss Scott's butt a little bit here... they have a whiteboard set up that looks like they're running the Matrix, and I got kind of lost. I got kind of lost in the algorithms that I saw. But do you guys have for season 2 kind of an endpoint, or are you going lost on us and you're making this crap up as you go?
No, we actually have through season 6 figured out.
Really?
That's why I was lost with all the binary code on your whiteboard.
I always wonder about that with series. Like, do they really plan that far ahead, or do you just make stuff up as you go along?
See, it's the beauty of it, actually, is we have 3 seasons. Like, the show ends at season 6. That's the plan. Okay. And we have basically a story arc for each season of things we know we want to happen. And that's what it is. It's main points we want to happen through each season. Now, how we get to those points changes and evolves as we discuss the story and we work on it.
Mm.
You're no small genius.
I was about to say, so you're smart.
Yes. So what you're saying is you have an education, can write and stuff.
I'm lucky if I know what I'm doing an hour from now. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Well, we've been pretty lucky. We know our characters very well because we're playing them, and they're very similar to who we actually are in real life, so it just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah,
which is great. I didn't even create the series in the first place.
Yeah, I was going to say that for those who haven't seen it, and if they don't, I'm going to hunt them down Jay and Silent Bob style and smack you around. I'll find out where you live. You need to see this series, but if you know these 3 and then you watch this series, they're smart in real life. So you guys have changed that a little bit, obviously, but your guys' dynamic. Right. If you ever get a chance to meet the 3 of these guys in person and then watch the show, you're clapping like a kid at a circus watching this. It just makes me happy watching you guys.
It's great. I mean, we have a lot of ridiculous moments in season 1, and see, the show changed in episodes 3 and 4 because we go into what we call feelings territory, and we go into a little backstory there, which is cool.
I remember there were tears in an episode or 2. There were some moments. There was. And now that there's a lady persuasion on the series, God only knows where that could go.
Oh, all sorts of estrogen.
So there's going to be even more. We introduce some new cast members in season 2. And just like, I know you were talking about Walking Dead, there is a parallel, but that actually was something we came up with before. We wrote most of season 2 as The Walking Dead season 3 was starting, so...
Yeah, well, I'll vouch for that, yeah. That was absolutely true.
Parallels, but no, we definitely encounter people, and in season 2 it's definitely about people in the world that are still out there, both good and bad.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, you're expanding the universe essentially, which whoever does it, whether it's Walking Dead or any post-apocalypse series, it's going to happen. So you just did it with the 3 dumbest people on the planet.
Pretty much.
So
it's kind of great. Season 2, there's some serious shit that goes down. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm jacked. I can't wait. Well, before we forget, we should have hoard this out right at the start. What's your Webisodes Network address, so people could see this?
Oh, right.
Before I forget.
That would be webisodesnetwork.com/survival of the dumbest.
That was easy.
Super easy.
Where's my notes? I should have had that written down. So speaking of...
Yeah, you can find us on there, and the Webisodes Network YouTube channel also has us featured on there, so you can check that out as well if you have a very slow computer.
Yeah, every time accidental self-promotion here, every time I look at my series on Webisodes Network, Scott's way out popularizes mine. Survival of the Dumbest is always Survival of the Dumbest is always
for the longest time they had it just as the top series, like the top 10 series, and we were number 2.
Yeah, it
awesome.
Still fluctuates up there still, so people need to see it.
They changed it.
What?
They changed it to trending series. Now it's trending series instead of top series.
F trending.
Trending series is still cool though, because as soon as they changes the trending series, I think this gives a pretty good picture without being cocky. They changed the trending series, and when they did, we were number 11 on the list, and then we put up the last part of the Christmas special,
which was awesome.
And now we're number 4.
Nice.
Okay, so it's more evolving. Like it's kind of like a real time, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. It's like whatever's being watched most at the moment.
At the moment.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. So it's almost a real snapshot of really how it's going down.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Cool. Well, so here's the segue that sucks. But speaking of zombies, anything in the Seagren household for like Halloween? Like, were you the kid? I'll paint the picture to kind of give you the palette. my mom, I don't know if she saw the writing on the wall, but I went to an all Lutheran grade school, and I was Beetlejuice. And she had the peeling skin. I mean, she should be a makeup artist in L.A. And but for those of you in my age range, Beetlejuice honked his crotch. Do you remember that scene, Scott?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
so, unbeknownst to my poor, nice Christian mother, I bought a bike horn, taped it around my waist so I could honk my crotch at my Christian or my Lutheran grade school. And so,
that is fantastic.
Exactly. And she also was Freddy Krueger. She helped me Freddy Krueger, like a replica. I was a clone of Freddy Krueger at same Lutheran school. And then for those of you who don't know the Freddy Krueger legend, he's the son of 1,000 maniacs, i.e. was one woman was raped by 1,000 people. So that was a good Lutheran upbringing. And, and thirdly, Mom, she wired a red eye under fake charred skin, and I was the Terminator when he had his flesh blown off. So I had half my face, my face was normal, the other half was like tinfoil, so you could see the metal exoskeleton.
Seriously,
and
she wired it. The industry.
Yeah, she had a 9-volt battery wired behind my ear. It was, I probably have cancer of the brain, but it was still. Halloween was serious in the Bosley household. What about you? Was the writing on the wall for you?
I've always taken Halloween very seriously. Like, always. That's like one of my favorite holidays. You get to dress up as whatever the hell you want to be. I a lot of times would put like a year. I'd start planning out like what I wanted to be a year ahead of time. Which is funny, ironically, because for the first year ever, I found myself like I just haven't had time, and I have nothing for Halloween to be this year. Nothing.
Wait, you have 6-7 days, and you still have no agenda or plan?
Nope. This
call is over.
You just got blacklisted.
Yeah, this is getting edited. No kidding.
I've been shooting a web series here, man.
Touche. Well played. That's valid. That's valid. I stand correct. Well, this is the first Halloween in probably my adult life since I got aged and angry and bitter at the world that I'm actually doing something for Halloween. So it's been a role reversal. Allie here has been doing the brood thing. She carved pumpkins tonight, and
we made pumpkins. We carved pumpkins tonight. We're trying to figure out costumes. You've seen the LED like stickman thing, right? Have you seen this?
The thing floating around today?
Yes. I'm trying to convince my youngest into letting me do that to him, but right now he's pretty stuck on like zombie lumberjack.
That is awesome.
Well, so this is the thing. He was a zombie football player last year, and I've been trying to convince him to be a lumberjack this year so that like I could do like the fake beard and like the flannel shirt and suspenders and everything. And he was like, well, what about, because he's like 4, he's 4.5, he's almost 5. He's like, well, can we put like an axe in my head?
Nice.
And I was like,
that's
you
awesome.
Mean like a zombie lumberjack? He was like, yeah.
Where's your next guest stars?
And so I think my 4-year-old is going to be a zombie lumberjack with an axe in his head.
That is amazing. I'm impressed.
Which is
badass.
Which is a departure from my upbringing because I was not allowed to do Halloween as a child.
That's the devil's holiday.
That's right.
Well, of course.
Oh, I mean, what else is there?
Clearly.
I should go as the LED man. 6.5 feet tall of that. Can you imagine that?
That would be amazing. No, that would be amazing.
Put that kid in the show.
And don't even address it. Do it like the Chihuahua in Hot Shots. Just have him randomly run through the scenes and have nobody take any notice of him. Like it's just happenstance, and that's the norm for you guys. So, well, for the sake of people that are, squirrel and pen lights, start tailoring it down. Any other? I don't want to bring up Fix because that's a little self-serving, but any other things on the horizon in the past in the burner greenlit project?
Oh man, so many things.
This is the time to be the horror we all know you are.
Well, thanks for that, Jeff. I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The last time you get the bedroom privileges. So.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so next episode we'll address that on the text. That's the cliffhanger.
We're still trying to finish up. Fix for the sound design on it. Aaron's at the head of that, so I got to wait on him, and he's just taking his sweet time. But anyway, that's still planning on doing the feature film version of that with Mr. Jeff Bosley. And
I hear he's an a-hole to work with. So
No, yeah, he is, but...
Anything personally for you guys outside of Survival of the Dumbest, or is that pretty much your attention?
Pretty much personally, I've got, aside from that, outside of Survival of the Dumbest, working on a couple of really small shorts that are going to be kind of gnarly to do with some friends. During the break between... there's a mid-season break for season 2 of Survival of the Dumbest, and during that break, we're going to try to shoot a feature film of some kind. We don't even know what it is, but we're just going to do it.
That's kind of what's cool about your level. And obviously, Universal isn't telling you to make this picture, but obviously you're not the high schooler shooting a movie on an iPhone. So it's kind of like,
exactly.
I have time. I'm going to make a movie now. Let's figure out what we're going to do. So it's
ironically,
yeah, you have freedom yet.
I would be fully immersed in this thing. Like during this break, we're going to shoot me and Austin, who plays Derek on our show. We were talking, and we were trying to figure out an idea to shoot this feature film during our break. And today, we actually came up with a sci-fi western idea that we're going to try to do. So that's going to be awesome.
You have my support automatically.
Of course. Yeah, really.
Well, cool. So at the end of everything, Allie and I don't even know if I filled you in. The umbrella, the parent company of this podcast is A Day in the Life of, which was basically my cop out of not committing to any sort of theme for my podcast. So it's kind of like,
perfect.
Yeah, it's a non-committal podcast. Allie and I have a little subset thing called Hippie and the Caveman. And since you've worked with us, obviously I'm kind of caveman-esque, and Allie is the antithesis of said caveman. So. At the end of every thing, we plug ourselves. Do you have a website, or just is Webisodes Network probably your go-to for that, or
I would say definitely hit up webisodesnetwork.com. Find us on Facebook under 104 Films, Survival of the Dumbest, or Exid Media. Mm-hmm. All are awesome, and you can get to any one of us through there.
Sweet.
So I would do that. We're also developing another couple of web series. One of them is taking place in the world of Sentinel City, aka where Spix happens.
Awesome.
So, you'll have to walk in through that one.
I know an actor that'll probably be calling you a lot and loving you.
Yes. I thought you might.
I'm sure he's that kind of guy. So, well, again, Scott Seagren, Exid Media, Exid, EXID, not Exit. Survival of the Dumbest on Webisodes Network, YouTube. I highly encourage you to watch season 1. Obviously, it's awesome. There's a bunch of minisodes Allie and I already talked about before we gave you a call.
Yeah, very funny stuff.
Yes, and the Christmas stuff makes me tingle a little bit. I've actually watched it, and I'm not lying. I've watched them both all the episodes of the Christmas specials a couple times. So,
exactly.
For those of you
For
those of you that like behind the scenes, there's blooper reels and just all the things that kind of give a show its personality. So check them out. And Scott Seagren will probably be on the air again someday, hiring me to mow his lawn. So
we'll talk about that.
All right, thanks, Scott. All right, so that was a little discombobulated due to just the way of the life, but forget it. That's what makes it fun. So First third, Allie and I were just rambling, talking about life, babies, how babies are made, how they're not made, and special guest Scott Seagren from a good buddy of mine in Los Angeles worked with, and now we're back to just the hippie and the caveman aspect of the show. Allie's kids we still have proof of life. We've checked pulses and then appropriately doped up those pulses with NyQuil. Not really. Allie's a great mother.
I would like to say, on the record, I did not give my children NyQuil.
She's right. She did not. When she wasn't looking, when she wasn't looking, I did. So.
I mean, I think you're far more qualified to medicate my children than I am.
That is actually true. Not because of something in a basement with tinfoil on the window.
Not the creepy basement.
Yeah. Uncle Sam has trained me to dispense medication. Let's just keep it at that. So, Allie was talking about some of her projects. I think you left off with the still shoot with your daughter.
That's right. It was a commercial shoot. It was actually Cabela's holiday shoot.
Bam. Oh.
Yeah.
That's not too small.
It was awesome. It was a fun thing, and she got to see how it works, and I think she has the bug a little bit. So we'll see.
Those are famous last words.
I know, right?
You do it now while they're young, jumping, eh?
Whoa.
Too soon. Well, what? It's not too soon, except it's in the news again. So, is that about it? You're getting ready to shoot.
Yeah,
your big one now.
I'm
soon.
wrapping up the shoot I was working on last weekend, and then working on Trauma, which is a feature that I've been working on for a while now, which is very, very exciting. It's absolutely incredible script. It's, you can find it under Trauma, the feature. The director is Eileen Agosta. It really, it's one of the most incredible scripts I've got to be a part of. When I signed my non-disclosure and got the script in the mail and sat there reading it, I literally was like,
I want to disclose this.
I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe I get to do this.
Awesome.
It's that moment,
Yeah.
I know you've wanted to do this for a long time too, and me, and it's just one of those things that you're like, wow, I'm really going to get to do all of this. These are the kind of movies that I've watched for my entire life and thought that would be so awesome.
Yeah, they're those roles that just kind of give you the fix.
Yes.
And they're the ones that you're like, this is actually what I like to do. And I'm not to kiss Allie's butt here a little bit. I did audition for this, and I rightfully didn't get the part, but she's right. This is an amazing script, and Allie got the part that she deserves and was happened essentially written for her, even though they didn't know she existed.
Aw, thanks.
So, yeah, like thanks. I said, I mow Allie's lawn.
It's exciting. It's a psychological thriller, so it's fun. It's fun to get to jump into that kind of role and mess with people's heads.
Exactly.
I mean, those are my favorite kind of movies. My favorite movie of all time is Fight Club.
Okay.
Which totally fucs with your head.
Yeah, no, I love the end. Is so Sixth Sense, same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Which, random side note, so there's a radio station here, K-Rock. The radio station Allie and I could not get to work in my car last time we were driving through downtown LA. It's called K-Rock, Kevin and Bean. They have an awesome little morning show hour, and I guess they did a special on it. One of those classic shows at the end where your jaw drops and you're like, what the? To me, is Sixth Sense. You're like, he was a ghost the whole time. Sorry, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen it by now,
you deserve
you're probably not going to see it. Let's be honest.
But he basically they did a joke or a little bit on shows when they show them in other countries. They had to change the title, the language, because it just didn't translate right. And literally, Sixth Sense, the way they chose to translate it, it was something like in Japan or some other country, the title was called "He's a Ghost." So, literally, six. Yeah, exactly. So it'd be like having Fight Club saying "Bipolar Club," or something. So.
He is Tyler Durden.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if you haven't watched that one.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, we've just ruined 2 really good movies for you.
So are you allowed to talk about what you've...
Yes, that ish. In the spirit of non-disclosures, this was friggin' awesome. This was my little kid trying to not pee his pants excitement moment. I've been fortunate enough to meet a couple people in the behind-the-scenes part of movies. A gentleman named Matt Anderson, and his little influential cartel of second unit directors and stunt coordinators that have an IMDb page. You just have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to see everything they've done. Most recently, they just the crew and my friend finished just working on the new Captain America.
Nice.
Like that level of awesomeness. And I'm probably just a step up from the guy that opens the door for these guys when they get on set, and then I clean up their spit when they sneeze. But I was fortunate enough to Fast and Furious 7 was being shot, and I was fortunate enough to go and be on the behind-the-scenes second unit stuff, which essentially, if you think about it, for those of you who don't know, second unit, basically, let's say there's a car chase, and hero is in car 1 and bad guys in car 2. So we do all the close-ups with Mr. Famous Guy and Mr. Famous Guy, but then when they do the master shots and they show the car, that's all second unit. Or sometimes when you're seeing the head, from the back seat at the driver, that's a completely different day, completely different state, whatever. And it's
second unit is basically everything that
the stars, anything that's not the face,
everything that the stars are not speaking in,
exactly, or the face. Or nowadays, probably don't need that anymore. But that is pretty much everything second unit. Even like a hand grabbing a door, where they do a close up of a hand, that's second unit.
I mean, you can't bother the superstar to open the door.
Yeah, I mean he's making $10 million. He's not trained for this. His hands aren't mani-pettied like mine.
No, but that's exciting.
But no, and so to see second unit, it's a little bit more casual because it's not as obviously the studio is running the show, but it's not as structured. Probably, and I don't want to sound like a little bitter, but probably because that level of money is not on set, like it's
Sure.
The Rock or Vin Diesel or whatever.
Sure.
There's a lot of reasons to be on a very strict and not fun schedule. But yeah, second unit, it's literally, I got to spend 2 days up on a steep mountain up in the Rockies. You just spend the day blowing up things and driving cars off cliffs. They're like, oh, that one's broken. Let's get the other Mercedes, drive that one off the cliff. And it's all the cool parts. And Fast and Furious, I'm an action hero lover at heart. So Fast and Furious 7, Fast and Furious 17, I'll watch them all. And the one of the many credits I'll give them is the stunts that these guys do with not using CGI with their cars. These drivers should be dead. And knock on wood. But the stuff they do on mountain passes is astounding. And so to actually see it live, see cars flipping, see all these explosions and all that, I was fortunate enough to be part of that.
It's awesome.
So it was really cool. I got to meet some names, and that's where all the non-disclosure stuff comes in. But it was
schmooze.
It was basically schmooze. I was like, I bump into him. I'm like, oh, excuse me. By the way, do you know who I am? That didn't last very long. And that's actually, we have notes. Well, at least I do because I'm a little OCD. But I had a funny note of topics Allie and I want to touch on Fast and Furious. So I'm a little terrified, a little new, not sure how second unit works. And even though my buddy told me it was pretty casual, I was still a little nervous. And so I really have to pee. If you need to go on, finish the audience.
That's
but
fine.
you'll probably love this. So I really, 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 really have to go to the bathroom. I've held it way too long. They had to close down the mountain. So I was in traffic for a while until they let us drive through and go to our parking spots. I just go they rent out a ski lodge. I basically shut down a ski mountain for this shoot.
Of course they did.
All the money. So I go haul and butt into the lodge, and there's a set of doors. As you go in, if you go straight, you'll go into one bathroom, and if you button hook, you'll go into the other one. For some reason, I had this innate urge: the males would be the one you button hook into. So I'm running there like a little kid doing the pee-pee dance, pinching my loins together, unzipping while I'm running.
TMI.
Yeah, TMI. No, TMI, there's plenty. So I button hook in there, and I'm like, God, where's the urinals? Forget it. And I kick open a door, and I kick open the little butt cheek lid thing, and flip that, and I do my duty, and then I'm doing my duty for a while, because I really had to pee, and I'm like, wow, there are no urinals in here. This is the stupidest ski resort ever. Washing my hands, and then a gaggle of like 10 women come in to stare at me like I had just locked up their family in a basement. I was like, that's why there's no urinals. Well,
you do have a little bit of an intimidating presence.
Yeah, and I definitely did not look clean. I definitely looked like a wandered homeless guy that came out of the mountains to use the pee hole. But that's about it. I'll want to go to pause real quick?
Sure.
We'll do a pause real quick. Sponsored by, not Children's Tylenol because it's not working. Children's. This will be sponsored by Children's Morphine. All right. So, God, I hate this thing. Tylenol's Motrin. Tylenol, Children's Morphine. Talked about movies, us. We're going to wrap it up at the 45-minute mark. It's been so long since we did this. Go to iTunes. Go ahead. You have some.
No, I was going to say tonight has been a little bit chaotic anyway with the sick kids and filming at my house. And
yeah, you know what? Adam Carolla has. I want to say, do you know who Adam Carolla is?
Yeah,
the Man Show fame. Jimmy Kimmel's sidekick. I think still to date he has the number one podcast in existence, and he records it from home. He probably has a little better setup. But you know what? I think that's the fun stuff, is hearing kids screaming in the background, dogs emasculating pets, other stuffed animals, whatever. But so it has been a little chaotic. It's fun, a little out of order, but that's what makes
that's what makes the world go round.
The last plug we had, or the last episode. It's up now on iTunes. Go to just your iTunes store, just search for Jeff Bosley, Bosley, and you'll find our podcast there, which is pretty much only populated by Allie and I's Hippie and the Caveman. So I've yet to go solo because it scares me. So iTunes, podcasts, we got it there. If you have ideas, suggestions, or please feedback, comments there, you can do reviews, 4 or 5 stars. If they have a 10-star option, I highly suggest you doing at least 9. Podcast, if you want to email us, we have a web or email address just for this, podcast@jeffbosley.com. I can't get rid of my own name in it, so podcast@jeffbosley.com.
And if you want to talk to me, I'm sure he'll forward it
there's a forward button, I think. So I said us. Anything to do with Hippie and the Caveman, day in the life of, the podcast email, and appreciate the support. Tell your friends, all that stuff. And
yeah.
Hippie and the Caveman, episode 3, that sick 3 children, a phone call in Los Angeles from a friend watching a movie I want to be watching right now. Spray tans, disease, children's drugs, and squeaky chairs and faulty software. Thank you for listening, and yeah. Is that about it?
That's about it.
All right. Yeah, bye.
You're just here like me.